It's a board's responsibility to oversee risk.
Yeah.
So what do you believe is one of the most important things that directors should remember when they have the responsibility of overseeing the cyber risk?
So a couple of things I think they should think about. One is, I don't think they should be afraid of cyber and think that this is something so brand new and so technical that they don't have a handle on it. Boards have dealt with risks of all kinds within their organizations in the past, have adopted new risks over time, and I think if they're skilled and feel confident in doing that, they should have some confidence about cyber. But that said, obviously the biggest risk is doing nothing at all in this space, which is going to leave you vulnerable. But really taking that more holistic approach to how they address this risk. So they're not just looking at protecting against this threat or that threat or the threat of the day, but looking at the most important digital assets that they have. What would be the worst thing that they could lose, right? And building their cyber protections around that, and then having a holistic approach to that. We're very big supporters of the NIST cybersecurity framework, which has kind of like 5 steps to it, identifying those crown jewels, right? Making sure they're protected and everything else is protected, being able to understand, we've seen this in a lot of data breaches, detect if something went wrong. That's a big risk. We didn't know it was happening for 6 months, right? And all of a sudden we've been, hacked for a long time. And then I think really important that sometimes gets forgotten is what would we do if something would happen and how would we recover, right? So taking that kind of holistic approach I think can be really helpful.
Yeah, and it's important, there isn't an endless budget. It'd be nice if there was and you could say, okay, I can protect everything, but isn't that one of the reasons that you have to identify sort of an order or what the most important assets are, because you're going to give less emphasis to the bottom of the list and really put the dollars at the top. What can affect your business the most?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, and that's why not all risks are created equal for all organizations. It partially depends what kind of business you're in, right? Which is what the board understands better than everybody else, right? What business are we in, and what kind of risk does that create for us in cyber? It's going to be different if you're in retail than you're in manufacturing. So you have to look at that risks in the lens that you operate and how your systems operate and what kind of data you have. And it could be that your greatest risk is losing intellectual property, or it could be that it's losing customer data. And that's how you have to put your resources around protecting those most valuable things.